Enemy said to be very lucky because we were able to get jobs for 7 of the lads. But our 3 main players, like John O'Brien, Michael Fanning and Brian White, our midfielder, our centre-half back, our left full back, we have 3 big men in the team. They got an offer to go to Australia. And we found it very hard to get the 3 lads jobs, I mean, like. So they headed off to Australia there in January. And now I believe, like, it's getting very competitive there at the moment. I believe now they're heading off to Boston, because the GAA in Boston is supposed to be offering more money in Boston than it is in Australia.
Well, then we're back to that argument of, you know, I suppose making it financially worthwhile for guys to stick around. Well,
in fairness, like the 3 lads, I know myself, I could have bullied the 3 lads and to stay and everything else, but in fairness, I have a son of my own. An Irish man, all an Irish man wants to do is own his own house and own no money as such. I mean, like, and you just can't stop lads from going to Australia or going to Boston. I mean, like, and the only thing I like about it is it's great to see that they've an opportunity of getting out, because like last year, as I said, that was the first time we got to Leinster final in 53 years. It kind of took the recession away from the county for a period of time, but then you're back to reality. Like, in fairness, all we want to do is get up on a Monday morning and go to work.
Yeah.
The 3 lads couldn't get jobs, and in fairness had to go to another country.
And had to leave altogether. Thanks for coming in. Mike, where's Michael? Michael Shields from Cork, the Cork team, of course. You tried emigration.
Yeah, I went away in 07. I signed a 2-year contract with Carlton, the Australian football club. But
the Australian rules.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Just to be honest, like, the game wasn't for me. I didn't really enjoy it. I took a chance on something and made a decision to come home. You know, so.
Were you homesick?
Small, yeah. So it's like the lads, I miss my mother as well. Like, so.
I tell you, you're fierce man for the mothers tonight. You know, must be the Mother's Day after effect.
No, just the game wasn't for me. But look, I went back to college. I did food business in UCC. Yeah. And since August, I've been looking for a job, really. And
nothing happening on that front.
Nothing at the moment. Nothing at the moment.
Okay, so how do you feel about the kind of conversation we've been having here tonight? And again, there will be the school of thought where we want to protect as I say, the sanctity of the amateur game, and yet we're looking at we're facing into a lot of people not being able to afford to stay around.
Yeah, look, I think going professional really isn't an option really in the GAA, you know.
Yeah.
I think that you know, it would destroy a lot of the clubs, and
so what's the answer then?
I suppose if you can get the players jobs, I suppose in any way you could, it'd be great for us, like, but it is a tough situation at the moment.
Alan, what's your situation? Alan Connor also with Cork, what's your situation?
Well, I was like the boys in construction up to about 2 or 3 years ago, and then I was coaching in schools in local area at home, Duhala board.
Yes.
But funding kind of
dried up there too.
Yeah, so that's dried up with the last 6 months. So
you've tried everything. You tried your construction, so you thought that was what everything was going to happen before the bubble burst. Then you said, George, to try education. That's gone pear-shaped too. So how are you keeping the morale going?
Well, I suppose only for football really we'd be in trouble. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just go down training, go down that hour extra, probably get in an extra hour's training or whatever. But it's tough, all right. I suppose, like as the boys said after a match there on Sunday, you get up Monday morning.
Yeah.
Most fellas have jobs about it, but you don't have it at the moment. Like, so.
Are you hopeful at all, or how do you feel about? How are you feeling about the immediate future?
You know, we're trying a lot of things now at the moment. Like, so I'll be hopeful enough something might come up. But you know, I suppose you gotta be positive about it. Really, you know, you can't be doing the dumps all the time. You know, you've got to keep the head up and keep trying.
Yeah, I admire your tenacity for all of that. Donegal O'Connor.
I'm Alan.
Sorry, I've got the names mixed up. I'm so sorry, Alan. Dan, what's your take on all this?
My situation,
Excuse me, sorry, lads.
I'm an electrician as well, currently building a house, so I'm on job seekers allowance, and I'm like 2 days a week, it could be 3 days a week. So you can imagine now trying to pay bills and you're building a house and you don't know what's coming next week. You might have 1 day, you know, next week it could be 2 days, but then, you know, it's very hard to pay bills that kind of way, like, you know.
Yeah. And are you looking to, as you look to the future, are you hopeful, or are you feeling a bit down?
I'm not, because, you know, the way the building is gone, the construction industry is like, you know, it's very hard to get a job in that kind of sector now. So, you know, you have to look farther afield or look to do something else, even go back to college or do something like that. Like.
Okay, well, hopefully it works out. My apologies for the name mistake there. What do you think then, listening to all these conversations from Cork and Tip and Louth, and what's your assessment ultimately?
Well, so I suppose, Ryan, it's the same all over the country. It's no different. Like, you know, I suppose you could bring in another crowd of people next weekend. It's the same thing. It's everyone has a different story, like, you know, of their situation. Like, and I suppose, like, after the All-Ireland this year, like, I was in the same way, and I suppose I sat down with a man there after All Ireland, I said, like, you know, there must be something that we can do. And it just says, I'm from Tipperary, from Thurles. I'm driving down through Thurles there 6 weeks ago, and I see a new pub open, and I see over the door, I see Corbett over the door, and my man's name is not Corbett anyway. And I said, like, if he can make a living out of that, like, why can't I go and do something? So a few weeks ago, we sat down just with Kevin Coppinger, a person from Thurles there, and we're going opening up a pub there in 2 weeks' time. So I just said, we're going to give it a go, we're going to try it. Our family had a pub in Thurles there for 20-odd years.
So you know the ropes.
So we think we know the ropes, and we just think there's a kind of an opening there for something different. They have match days and that in Thurles. We're going to give it a go. And I suppose that's one other reason as well why we're up here tonight is try and be positive. And I suppose there's one thing is the fear of failure can stop you going doing something. So give it a go. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Try something else. And I suppose that's the angle we're coming from at the moment.
OK, well, look, I can't wish you enough luck in all your endeavours, to our friends in the audience and to our panel here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we might get the big round of applause. Thanks for coming to see us.